Hello. Oh, hold on. Let me get my OBS out of the way. Weird. That's never something that happens, I promise. Welcome back. Episode 425. Today is April 22. It is a Wednesday. It's my day off. I had another interview today for a new job. I think it went really well, and we'll see if we get hired and get more money. So we'll see. Markets are recovering. Look at that uptrend. It's perfect. It's going all according to plan. Excellent. Well, I don't know where we realistically have the resistance line other than the obvious, the 80,000 for Bitcoin. We hit an ultimate high today of 79,425. Victory is so near. I just hope we don't, crash immediately from here. Famous last words. I was hoping we could get the slow gradual rise toward, eventually breaking out above 80,000 was my expectation for Bitcoin. So we got a lot to cover tonight. I wasn't streaming yesterday, got too busy. We'll be covering all of it tonight. What happened with the ceasefire deal, whatever, whether the war will continue or not. Are we dropping a nuke or not? The answer is no. We're just tacoing again. Yesterday was Taco Tuesday. So it was great overall. The rise on Bitcoin is much appreciated. You'll notice I only have 2 positions open. Well, I mean, I have 3, but ignore the Bitcoin one. And I had a hyperliquid position open. That one got hit with a stop loss. Unfortunately, it's, where is hyperliquid? It's at 41. Why did I get a stop loss hit? Hello? Ah, I see. So we hit exactly that support level on hyperliquid. I guess I'll get to that eventually. I knew I should have put the stop loss down there. I don't know. We're in a downtrend right now. Hypothetically, for hyperliquid. So the bounce that I was hoping for didn't really play out. It held well for a long time, though. Ultimately, though, it just decided to have its drop and hit its support at 38.89. Lowest 38.90. Yeah, basically. So, rest in peace, I guess. Hyperliquid currently is $40.97. I know I'm jumping ahead. This is a lost trade. It's fine. We'll probably recover from Solana or Ethereum. Those should be doing well. Bitcoin's current price is 78,051. Not too bad overall. Uptrend invalidating currently. We'll call it 74,000. Your most important buffer support zone for Bitcoin. Not that easy to break out of this one, okay? That's your concrete barrier. It's gonna take more than a nuke, a bunker-busting bomb for this to, crash to whatever lower point. Even still, we're looking at 70,000, obviously. But that's it's not too bad. Obviously, it would suck to see price crashing from 78,000 down to 71. You'd be in a downtrend by then, and I wouldn't be too optimistic about price continuing to rise from there. What do I do now? I am stressed. What do I sell? Do I just accept $800 as a loss? Will we ever see 80,000 again? I still feel like we can. I feel like we have enough strength to at least attempt to push and break out of there. If I see 80,000 something, I'm putting a stop loss at 80,000 flat. Win or lose, I don't care. If the thing rises, good. I'll close with some form of a profit. If it immediately drops below 80,000 again, stop me out. I'm rebuying from 80,000 and below. Surely Bitcoin doesn't drop lower than, what, 54,000? It might. That's why I want to get rid of this 80,000 position, because I will get liquidated at that point. I'm at 3x leverage. I think from now on, what I'm going to do is, I can be reckless, but with 2x leverage, I feel like is safer. Probably going to start going for that. Just to duplicate my exposure and into something safe. Something guaranteed that will rise, right? And Bitcoin gives me that guarantee. The guarantee that no other altcoin can give you. Not even meme core. It's still going up, that's crazy. So anyway, good. I still expect great stuff. Great moves. Things shall continue rising. Here's the Ethereum position. Good move up. Not enough to hit the take profit, unfortunately. This would have been what, $75 of profit? Maybe? We're at $42 of profit currently. Yeah. I have my take profit at 2,461. Right where the previous resistance was. This is what I hate about this, is like I should have just put my take profit here, because obviously there was a resistance here that we were going to hit first, which we did. Now I don't even know if we're going to continue higher. I feel like we will though, so I think we're fine. Uptrend is confirmed to continue for Ethereum. Great. It will recover whatever I lost on Hyperliquid and return my position. Solana will give me the real gain though. Once again, also hitting a resistance at 88.93. Current price is $86.31. Still technically in the green. And when we do hit this, yeah, we'll get some payouts, some payoff profit. We'll be fine, essentially. Do I rise my stop loss to break even? I probably can. I might. I don't know. No, I don't think I will. I'll just leave it there. Accepting the losses if I have to. Although I probably, I don't know, I'm getting nervous with the money now that it's actually in play again. I haven't done this kind of trading in such a long time, as you guys know. I've just been DCAing as Bitcoin has gone down and held diamond hands for, what, 2-3 months now? And here we are again. Begging the markets for money. Chainlink, $9.25. We topped out at $9.55. We've seen better. We've seen $9.86, so bit lackluster. But Supertrend rose up a little bit, invalidating at $8.90. Potential for good entry soon. If Chainlink drops low enough, you could get something going on like that. Yeah, maybe. We shall see. If it does drop this low enough. Putting a stop loss below whatever Supertrend invalidation is. BitTensor, so far so good. It did not follow this rise up. It really just flattened out over here. This rise up will just happen eventually, which will invalidate the downtrend. I'm pretty sure we found our bottom on BitTensor. How much lower can we truly go? I'm just waiting for the breakout to happen. Anytime now, you know, wherever this thing flips over. I haven't really touched this in a long time, but yeah. So far, so good, I guess. The breakout needs to break above 266 for BitTensor, and then we can get a good trade going on. If all goes according to plan, of course. We'll see. I'm not going to touch the drawing any further. That's kind of what I expect from it either way. Sui, well, that was a peasant rise. I'm sure we will continue rising, though. Come on, you still got it in you. I feel like a lot of these altcoins, they've got the potential to still continue rising. They're just not. If that makes sense. I feel like we're all just waiting to see what Bitcoin does, because Bitcoin is approaching a critical area at 80,000. We want the confirmation that Bitcoin can break out of 80,000. And then we'll see the move that we're expecting so much on the altcoins. That's what I see so far. Hyperliquid we just reviewed. Weird flip over in the trend. I'm sure this is a fake out as well. Similar to this one, it was a short-lived downtrend. I'm sure that we'll see something similar over here. Does that mean I'll go long? No, I already lost my position, so I'm just leaving it there now. I don't have anything anyway. Oh, I do have. How do I have 43? Hello. I don't know. I can't even risk $50. I'd be risking 43. Whatever. Meme core. Man, this thing is just rising. Okay, well, here we go. Here we go again. Hedera. This would have been a take profit. Could have. I don't know. I wouldn't have entered here realistically. I was hoping for it to lateralize a bit longer. I'm gonna die today. Yeah, so didn't really hit. Whatever. Wasn't in here anyway. At least I predicted a super trend rise to 0.8508. That's good, I guess. You know what I noticed? Litecoin and not meme core. Monero are gone. Again, they were back for one day and one day only. Why does this happen to the best of us? Is it really gone? Like, why does that happen? Why specifically those two? Yeah, Monero's just gone now. Cringe alert. Okay, let me delete that. And my whole list is gone. Beautiful. Okay, anyway, Bitcoin's the only one that truly matters either way. Yeah, short in summary, I do expect this to continue to rise. Great, good stuff. Really not much going on, honestly. This market is so boring. I know we're rising, but it's like, come on. When it comes to news, there's also just talk of stuff like, oh, it's literally nothing's going on. Let's go to the news then. We have obtained more detail on Iran's final decision not to attend talks with the US and Pakistan. So that's part of the reason why markets got a little bit spooked out. And Trump ultimately extended the ceasefire, which we'll get into. The details are, Iran says a Pakistan-brokered 10-point ceasefire plan was proposed. Iran believes this plan was undermined by weak enforcement. Iran believes the plan is also undermined by ongoing maritime pressure. Iran officials believe talks are pointless amid the US's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, which we'll talk about as well. Iran has informed the US via Pakistani mediators that it will not be attending talks on Wednesday, which was today. Today was supposed to be the peace talks. Nothing happened. J.D. Vance came to Pakistan in vain. Went to Pakistan in vain. So, AP is now reporting that J.D. Vance has called off his trip to Pakistan. Yeah, there you go. Iran's military spokesperson, dude, he issues a chilling warning. Everyone must leave the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait immediately. Time is running out. Looks like the ceasefire is coming to an end. He said that sailors aboard all ships in the Arabian Gulf must also prepare to evacuate their vessels. This is especially urgent for ships near the Strait of Hormuz, which will be destroyed first. Time is running out. Seems like it was a threat, or at least a show of strength, that it's like, hey, okay, we're not going out to those negotiation deal on Wednesday. That means we're going to war, right? Hey, guys, prepare. We're about to go to war again. And that's what people were a bit fearful of yesterday. Just a little bit. But, I mean, in our heart of hearts, I think we knew that Trump was going to taco anyway. So yeah, all those countries are complicit in attacks by the US. Every country in the Gulf says Iran, so of course they're not happy with them. Trump says that, hey, you know what? We're going to resume the talks as soon as Friday, but Iran has still not yet decided whether to hold discussions on Friday amid ongoing ceasefire negotiations. We'll see. That's day after tomorrow. Iran also declares the Strait of Hormuz is closed until further notice following the U.S. vessel seizures and rising tensions, according to Tasnim. Yeah. So it's like, okay, who is the one that is closing the strait at this point? Is it Iran? Iran says that they closed the strait. But, I mean, the United States is blockading it anyway, so they're the ones that are closing it. And here's where it gets paradoxical. Trump commented on this, and I think he's 100% correct. Iran doesn't want the Strait of Hormuz closed. They want it open, so they can make $500 million a day, which is therefore what they are losing if it is closed. They only say they want it closed is because I have it totally blockaded and closed. So they merely want to save face. That's true. That's literally fact. I think that's actually the case. People approached me 4 days ago saying, "Sir, Iran wants to open up the strait immediately. But if we do that, there can never be a deal with Iran unless we blow up the rest of their country, and their leaders included." Cool. So we kind of flipped the script a bit over here. Iran has been threatening us with, we're going to close the Strait of Hormuz. We have the power to do this. We're going to, disrupt the global oil supply, the 20%, whatever. But now the United States is like, we're the ones that are doing it. You want to charge tolls on an open strait? We're closing it. You better negotiate so that you can make some money for reparations. Otherwise, we're just going to finish off your country at this point. That's what the threat is looking like. Which is solid. I approve. I approve of war. You heard it here live first. Iran continues exporting oil under U.S. sanctions. Most of their shipments are flowing to China through covert channels as enforcement tightens. So, yeah, it seems like their only client so far is just China, so it's useless. U.S. military says it ordered 31 ships to turn around or return to port as part of its blockade against Iran, so proof that it's in the happening. And Secretary Scott Bessent, Secretary of Treasury, he says, as the president has made it clear, the United States Navy will continue the blockade of Iranian ports. In a matter of days, Karg Island storage will be full, and the fragile Iranian oil wells will be shut in. Constraining Iran's maritime trade directly targets the regime's primary revenue lifelines. The Treasury will continue to apply maximum pressure through economic fury to systematically degrade Tehran's ability to generate, move, and repatriate funds. I've never seen that word before. Any person or vessel facilitating these flows through covert trade and finance risks exposure to U.S. sanctions. Cough, cough, China. We continue to freeze the funds stolen by corrupt leadership on behalf of the people of Iran. Until we make a deal, we'll probably unfreeze those funds. Cool. We'll see. Another statement from Trump. I think this is, yeah, it's regarding the ceasefire. He says, based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir and the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and, in all other respects, remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or the other. Yeah, Taco Tuesday, let's go. So now the ceasefire is extended until an undetermined date. We don't know. Whenever Iran decides to come to the table to talk with their whatever boilerplate of a 10-point peace plan that they have, I'm sure they're probably going to use some of Pakistan's points, but they still want some stuff working out their way. Because right now they feel like it's too biased and it's non-negotiable, no non-starter. We're getting kind of like a repeat of what happened with Ukraine and Russia. Remember that? We were getting peace plans thrown all over the place, and they're just like, nope, we disagree with this whole portion of it, so no ceasefire for you, Buster. And it's just this thing that will take forever, I guess. Okay. What else we got? Iran's parliament speaker, Ghalibaf, advisor, says Trump's ceasefire extension, it's meaningless. It's an attempt to buy time for a surprise attack, asserting that Iran currently holds the initiative. Okay, keep telling yourself that, I guess. Iran's official position will be announced at a later date, according to Tasnim. Who is Tasnim, please? I'm hearing about this news agency. It's just a news agency. Okay, cool. Good to know, I guess. Moving on. Bold move from Trump over here. Against all odds, he has decided to request FIFA to remove Iran from the World Cup and replace them with Italy. First of all, what does this have to do with anything? It's just a sport. We're not, it's not like they're going to commit a terrorist attack. Maybe they might, I don't know, some other people, radicals at the stadiums. We don't know, because we're hosting the FIFA World Cups in North America, basically. Now, we're replacing them with Italy. I thought Italy was such a good soccer team. Were they not in it initially? And now they have a chance of getting in because Iran? Is that true? Is Italy in the FIFA World Cup 2026? They didn't qualify. Cringe. Wow. Italy. I am outraged. How could you? What about Buffon? What about... Who else is a good Italian soccer player? I don't know. Oh well. Come on. Famous Italian soccer players. It's reading my mind. Come on. Buffon, I remember. I don't know who Baggio is. I don't know who Paolo Maldini... Okay, I just know Buffon then. The goalkeeper. That guy was goated. Sorry, moving on. Prime Minister Keir Starmer of UK acknowledged that he exercised wrong judgment when he chose his ambassador to Washington. I agree, he was a really bad pick. There's plenty of time to recover, though. Yeah, Keir Starmer. Anyway, I'm sure this is just, in regards to whether or not they should help the United States with the Strait of Hormuz. Because now, after things seem to be simmering down in the Middle East, it looks like Trump is, well, at least he's trying to walk away with a victory here. With this whole, look, guys, we're the ones in charge of the strait now. We're, charging the tolls. We will get a ceasefire from Iran. We technically won the war. We did a regime change, technically, because the old guys are not there. So it's like, okay, great, congrats. Now, what about the other countries? Yeah, they didn't help the United States, so we will remember. Good luck when Russia invades. Losers. And Russia's getting real rich right now. Europe is getting real poor right now. Because, I mean, all their energy costs are rising. Russia is just exporting like crazy and making bank. And they had sanctions relief extension for another month. They're going to continue to make more money, probably to fund the war to continue it, right? Take over the rest of Ukraine, take over the rest of Europe. That's what they're fearful of. So yeah, come on, do something about it. You didn't help Trump. Trump is expected to help you now. They went against Trump on everything. In Greenland, in the Strait of Hormuz now. So even with Ukraine, arguably, because the United States was doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it came to the Ukraine war, how much they were giving them, funding them, etc. More than Europe. So Europe has got to step it up. Okay, moving on from that, Kevin Warsh, we had his confirmation hearing yesterday. He had some remarks here, still dealing with the legacy of policy errors in 2021 to 2022. There is no more no more pressing question than cost of living. Okay, yeah. We need fundamental policy reforms. Fed holds onto its forecasts longer than it should. Okay. So whatever forecasts we have might be nullified by the time this guy joins. He says that he will be independent of Trump. No, we need you to be Trump's puppet so that you can lower the rates to 1% like Trump wants. He says doesn't know the reason for the president choosing him. Yeah, sure, okay. Presidents tend to be for cutting rates, and Fed independence is up to the Fed. Okay. And what else we got? Tariffs is not why inflation is running high. Finally, a change of wording here. Economy is improving. It can improve more. Economy's potential is strengthening. The Fed balance sheet has played unhelpful role in mandates. Prefers using interest rates as a dominant force. Does that mean we're going to see those fluctuate more frequently? Is that it? If we were to cut rates, broader range of people would benefit. Ooh. Now that is bullish, my friends. He thinks that we're all just going to benefit eventually if the rates do get cut. Broader range of people would benefit, so it should overall be a good thing. Yeah, that's all for this. Elizabeth Warren, we can't get enough of her. She says, are you refusing to tell us if you have investments and vehicles set up by Jeffrey Epstein? Okay. First of all, what kind of question is this? Are we talking about Bitcoin? Does she believe Bitcoin was invented by Jeffrey Epstein? Because the guy's disclosed a lot of crypto holdings as well. But Kevin Warsh said, yeah, but don't worry. Those assets will be sold if I'm confirmed and before I take office. That way there's no bias, of course. Because we did get an overview of Kevin Warsh's holdings. There was a lot of crypto stuff in there. Can I find it here? Kevin Warsh holdings. Where is it? He has Polymarket, SpaceX, and crypto. What crypto? There was like a huge list. AI crypto, private investment funds, $50 million worth of investments. This guy's like really active in all that. He has crypto via ETF, stablecoins, and institutional holding. Wait, what? No. Okay, never mind. Yeah, Blast, Compound, DYDX, Polychain stakes. That's what it was. It's not necessarily Bitcoin itself, but, you know, the fact that he's deep in the rabbit hole and he's buying things like DYDX, brother. Yeah, come on. He clearly knows what's up. Tim Cook, we talked about him. He will be stepping down. I gave you that news like maybe a year ago. I don't know why it's being relevant now. Stepping down after 15 years, and John Ternus will replace him as CEO. He will leave his role in September 1st of 2026. I guess now we have a date. That's what it is. So he will remain at Apple, serving as an executive chairman. He's just demoting himself for whatever reason. And John Ternus will take over the CEO position of Apple. And Trump had a Bible of a post to talk about, so we'll read it. I've always been a big fan of Tim Cook, and likewise Steve Jobs, the old CEO that passed away. But if Steve was not taken from planet Earth so young and ran the company instead of Tim, the company would have been would have done well, but nowhere near as well as it has under Tim. Okay, what? For me, it began with a phone call from Tim at the beginning of my first term. He had a fairly large problem that only I, as president, could fix. Most people would have paid millions of dollars to a consultant who I probably would not have known, but who would say that he knew me well. The fees would be paid, but the job would not have gotten done. When I got the call and said, "Wow, it's Tim Apple, Cook, calling. How big is that?" I was very impressed with myself to have the head of Apple calling to kiss my ass. Okay. Anyway, he explained his problem. A tough one it was. I felt he was right and got it taken care of, quickly and effectively. That was the beginning of a long and very nice relationship. During my 5 years as president, Tim would call me, but never too much, and I would help him where I could. Years later, after 3 or 4 big helps, I started to say to people, anyone who would listen, that this guy's an amazing manager and leader. He makes these calls to me, I help him out, but not always, because he will, on occasion, be too aggressive in his ask. And he gets the job done quickly, without a dime being given to those very expensive, millions of dollars, consultants around town who sometimes get it done and sometimes don't. What a nothing post. Anyway, Tim has an amazing career, almost incomparable, and will go on and continue to do great work for Apple and whatever else he chooses to work on. Quite simply, Tim Cook is an incredible guy. Hey, were we not beefing with this guy just last year when it came to the installation of tariffs? Tim Cook was like one of the few with Apple, right? They were one of the few companies that didn't want to switch over to the United States. They're like, okay, we're going to have to close down our factories in China because of the tariffs. No problem. We'll just shift everything over to India. And Trump is like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to come to the United States and manufacture here. But he's like, but it's cheaper over there. He's like, yeah, well, how about this tariff on India? Is it cheaper now? And he's like, okay. Then he came to the United States, I'm pretty sure. At least some parts are being manufactured in the United States, if not the whole iPhone. Where are iPhones now manufactured after the tariffs? It's a majority of US-bound iPhones now manufactured in India, while China remains the primary manufacturer for the rest of the world. Okay, so only US production is moved to India. I guess that's still there. They're also expanding to Vietnam and Brazil. Okay. Yeah, it seems to be just India now. Cool. Yeah, because we tariffed the heck out of China that one time. That was pretty funny, though. Made the markets crash like... I can't give you a percentage. April 7 crash. Look it up. October 10. Don't even talk about that. You get the point. So, yeah, weird. Tim Cook. Well... enjoy, I guess. I mean, he's not really going anywhere. He's still going to be at Apple. This is a nothing burger of a announcement, in my opinion. It's not like Warren Buffett, where he's like actually a legendary guy and is stepping down, and some random is taking over the company, Berkshire Hathaway. That random, he's sitting on $300 billion worth of cash. Maybe he buys Bitcoin with it. Just maybe. Right? Okay. Well, Canada news. Mark Carney appoints the former Conservative leader, Erin O'Toole, to a new advisory committee on Canada-US economic relations. Why are they switching teams every time? I remember Erin O'Toole. Why? He was a former Conservative leader, now working for Mark Carney, Liberal, for Canada-US economic relations. I mean, if anything is up for that job, I guess it would be a Conservative. So, okay, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this problem. It seems like people are upset in the comments. Some people are okay with it. Yeah, I don't know. It's like all the Conservatives are just switching over to Liberal for whatever reason. Or at least helping them in some form. Cool. Great. Good stuff. Lovely. Nothing ever gets done. Morgan Stanley bought another 11,300,000 worth of Bitcoin today, marking its 13th consecutive day of inflows ever since it came out. Perfect. Morgan Stanley coming out was like, how what do I call it? Like the perfect timing. The perfect timing was excellent timing when it came out. They've only been inflowing and Bitcoin has only been rising, so I'm pretty sure they're enjoying their Bitcoin ETF. They're like, yes, this is excellent. They're super low fees, better than BlackRock. It's just excellent timing. Couldn't have been better. BlackRock, on the other hand, they're in a bit of an arms race against Michael Saylor. I guess they said, hey, you know what? Challenge accepted, brother. BlackRock purchased another $900 million worth of Bitcoin in the past week. That's a big amount of inflows. Let's keep in mind, though, Michael Saylor this weekend bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. Now that is great. I just sneezed, but I'm muted. You're welcome. Yeah, so that's good. The total holdings of IBIT, BlackRock, they now have 806,700 Bitcoins, worth $63 billion. It's a new all-time high for them as well. BlackRock reclaims the top spot among institutions holding Bitcoin, overtaking Saylor's strategy narrowly. How much do they have now, if I look it up? Saylor. Brother, what are you posting? Just give me the... Is it this one? No. Here it is, April 20. They now have 815,000 Bitcoins. These guys have 806,000. Hello? Saylor still has more. Okay, I guess. But it depends on what their average price is. I don't know what their average price is, honestly. But yeah, for Saylor, I think, I don't know. It's a very tight race for both of them. Who's going to reach 1 million first? Who's going to become the next Satoshi? I mean, there's not that much to go around. Yeah, they could still accumulate 200,000 Bitcoins each, fresh off the markets. Or like, fresh from the miners, I would say. Because there's still 1 million Bitcoin left to be mined. Only 1 million left out of the 21 million. Have you ever thought of that? Don't worry though, it gets like super harder, and like the last Bitcoin ever to be mined will be in like the year 2100 something. 2140, I think. When will the last Bitcoin be mined? Yeah, 2140. Look at that memory of mine. Can we get a like and sub for that? Speaking of miners, public Bitcoin miners sold over 32,000 Bitcoins in the first quarter of 2026. Yeah, we knew that miner capitulation was there. We felt it. We talked about it. Record liquidation as firms pivot capital toward AI infrastructure amid rising mining costs. Yeah, that too. AI infrastructure. That narrative has been strong. We've seen it. Now Stretch, the MicroStrategy company that gives good dividends that I might start investing it in because I'm FOMOing here. They bought 10 times more Bitcoin than all ETFs so far in 2026. That's MicroStrategy versus, well, Stretch is its own thing. And then the ETFs. They haven't inflowed a lot. I think so far they've inflowed 1 billion year to date, something like that. That's last I heard. I don't know. Look at that. STRC. Yep, still looking good. It's not supposed to go past 100, I guess. But cool. Gives good dividends. And they're going to be changing it to bi-weekly instead of monthly. Pretty good. Pretty good yield. Now, you know what's funny? Is Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff is funny. I'll keep this open. The world's largest preferred is now backed by Bitcoin. Okay. Largest preferred. Is that actually some metric? Exchange listed preferreds. What does this mean? Ranked by market cap. You got a big list of Strategy, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. I don't know what Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac is. You got Citigroup, Power Corp of Canada, JP Morgan, National Australia Bank, and JP Morgan again. Why is JP Morgan here twice? This is Class C, Class D, is that it? Exchange listed preferreds. What is a preferred? Anyway, Strategy is the largest one here. And Peter Schiff commented on it. You mean it's the largest Ponzi in the world? Oh boy, here we go. Hey Bradley, yeah, boo, screw this guy, am I right? Investors don't want Bitcoin, they want the 11.5% yield, that big fat dividend you get right there. But that yield is financed by a pure Ponzi scheme. Except when you run out of new investors, you have a legal right to stop paying old investors. Then SRTC, not STRC, different ticker by the way, STRC, SRTC, let's go. It will crash to zero. Good, because what even is SRTC? Am I right? Is this some Brazilian company? No, it's a bond. I know he got the ticker wrong. I'm joking around with him. Does Bitcoin fit the definition of a Ponzi scheme? No. Grok says, Bitcoin does not fit the definition of a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi requires a central operator promising fixed returns to early investors, paid from new investors' money, with no real underlying value or profits. It collapses without constant inflows. Bitcoin has no operator, no promised yields, no central promises. It's a decentralized digital asset with a fixed 21 million supply, traded openly on markets. The value comes from supply and demand, scarcity, and global adoption as a store value, not from recycling new money to pay old holders. The stretch preferred in that chart is a separate financial product offering yields. Schiff is critiquing its structure, not Bitcoin itself. So I think the main critique is with Stretch. And the guy is going off right now, I think, as we speak. Was. We'll talk about that soon. He commented further on it, saying, sometimes a Ponzi scheme is not obvious. The only sign may be that it seems too good to be true. But that is not the case with Stretch, which is the most obvious Ponzi that has ever existed. The fact that the SEC allows Saylor to promote it is more proof that we don't need a Unsecurities Exchange Commission. Yes. Ragebait. Cool. He also said, I'm going to host a space on Twitter at 8:30 p.m. on Stretch. I think it's an obvious Ponzi. I'll invite people to join and try to prove me wrong. Saylor, this includes you. Get on here. I'll also include CoffeeZilla to join. He did a great job exposing this, but then backed away from calling it a Ponzi. Really? Okay. And is he actively on the space? I think while I was getting the stream prep, yeah, he's still there. Do we join? Brother only has 3 people listening. No, I'm kidding. It's 762. Yeah, no, I'm busy doing my own stream. If you want to see that, cool. Why is it posted 3 times? Okay, man. Well, you do you. I guess we'll see what conclusion he comes up with, whether or not Stretch is a Ponzi scheme. Hey, man, I'll just enjoy the dividends until the thing crashes, I guess. I'll leave as soon as it does. You know, you won't see me there no more. What is happening here? Arbitrum Security Council has taken emergency action to freeze the 30,766 Ethereum that was being held in the address on Arbitrum 1 that is connected to the Kelp DAO exploit. So the fake money that was invented and stolen from Aave using the Kelp DAO, whatever it was, Arbitrum decided to freeze the wallet. Congratulations, they did it. Decentralized at its finest, am I right? Only to a certain extent. The Security Council acted with input from law enforcement. Oh, okay, so there's no decentralization here if you're complying with law enforcement. Sorry. That means you're centralized. As to the exploiter's identity and, at all times, weighed its commitment to the security and integrity of the Arbitrum community without impacting any Arbitrum users or applications. Now, I know the rebuttal to this, it's, yeah, but it's a criminal, and we gotta stop the criminal. And to that I would say, yeah, you're right. But I don't know, that's where it gets difficult to answer. Like, what constitutes who you allow onto these platforms to, you know, do all these transactions here? Who gets to decide whether or not somebody will be a criminal and create a hack and steal a bunch of money, and then what? So you do need that sense of centralization to an extent, of course, but we value our privacy. Also, that guy just made a mistake with using ETH. Come on. everything it's bridgeable on ETH, so should have just used Monero. Lesson learned. After significant technical diligence and deliberation, the Security Council identified and executed a technical approach to move funds to safety without affecting any other chain or state or Arbitrum users. As of April 20, 11:26 p.m. Eastern Time, the funds have been successfully transferred to an intermediary frozen wallet. They are no longer accessible to the address that originally held the funds. It can only be moved by further action by Arbitrum governance, which will be coordinated with relevant parties. How do I vote? Can I vote for all this to arrive into my wallet? Exactly. You can arbitrarily freeze funds on wallets on your network, which means you have the ultimate control of your coin. No. Yeah. DeFi security, it's not really decentralized finance. And then Justin Sun, I don't know what this is all about. He says, okay, I'm officially announcing the most decentralized blockchain in the world is Tron. Why? Because you won't stop the criminals? Or is he just memeing here? Probably. It's probably a joke. It's got to be a joke. I'm sure there's been frozen funds. You can. I mean, it's literally, you know, you can transact with Tether, and Tether is like the most freezable stablecoin, I guess. A very centralized one at that. Coinbase released a report on quantum computing. They said that crypto is safe today, but they warned that the industry should start preparing now for future quantum threats. You hear that, devs? Get on it, nerds. Litecoin is making new all-time lows versus Bitcoin. So the LTC-BTC chart. I mean, isn't everything? I'm pretty sure everything is also. This guy says, friends don't let friends buy Litecoin. The official Litecoin account responded like, you need friends first, buddy. Whoa. Owned. That's funny. Great. Last bit of news. Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX. Man, they sold too early. They would have held $114 billion in assets today if their lawyers hadn't sold off their top positions like Anthropic, Solana, and SpaceX. Look how much money they're losing on everything. And Anthropic, they're losing $82 billion. A return of 165x. Dude, Anthropic is just so valuable. I can't wait for this thing to IPO. Solana, it's been better, but $5 billion, 27x. Robinhood, 4 billion. Genesis, 3.5 billion. SpaceX, 15 billion. That's another big return, a 75x return. And Cursor, I don't even know what this is, but that's a 15,000x return. $3 billion though. It's not that significant, I guess. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Crazy. Well, yeah. Stay bankrupt, I guess. I don't know. The guy's still seeking a pardon from Trump, and he's glazing him at any chance he can. Hey, man, you do you. Do what you gotta do to get out of jail free. That's all the news I had for today. Tomorrow, nothing will happen. I expect the rises to continue for Bitcoin. I'm hoping slow and gradually, of course. Nothing too crazy. You've got 74 as your ultimate support. We can drop as low as that on a terrible day. But we should recover from there and continue higher. My other positions, they're doing fine. I've seen both of these at 60s. I've seen them there. Can't wait for this thing to just, please, turn green. Light at the end of the tunnel. I love it. Even still, I think I don't think I would hold. I'd be too scared. Because what if 54,000 is next? But for what? Why will we drop there? If we go back to war in the Middle East, yeah, absolutely. But I don't think we're doing that until, like, later this year. We're not even halfway through the year yet, so we still got plenty of time to escalate the war, so to speak. But yeah, good stuff overall. Please bring back Litecoin and Monero, BingX, please. I enjoyed the little time I had with it. It's gone now. It's gone forever. It's just like worthless. Okay. Yeah, that's all, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow then. Have a good rest of your evening. Bye.